the very first episode of the Generation Gap.
Yet.
Why? Okay. This is the only lighthearted podcast starring two giggly girls, gathering people from different generations to discuss some not so lighthearted topics. Also, we're gonna make it a tradition to say hi in a different language every episode. So that was Spanish.
Yeah, quick disclaimer, please don't mind us laughing. It just happened.
My name is Ruhi and I belong to Gen Z,
And my name is Niveditha and I also belong to Gen Z.
but just call her Nivi.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Nivi, can you believe it? We're shooting our very own podcast.
No, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, okay, so here we are, episode 1. And the topic for today is, drumroll please, do you need to have a plan in life?
Ooh, so Ruhi, do you have a plan in life?
No, not really. I mean, it's kind of scary. Okay, but before we get blabbering about it all, let's call upon our guest for today. Our first guest is a student studying human resources from Gen Z as well, but older, but just a little bit.
Sorry, inside joke. If you know, you know.
Please join me in welcoming Sindu. Yay!
Oh, hello everyone.
Hi.
Yeah. So our second guest for the day is a multi-talented mother who makes the best of her time. Working with NGOs, part-time yoga teacher. Please welcome Miss Deepika from Gen X.
Yay! Okay, so guys, as you all know, our topic for today is plan for life. So Nivi and I just came off choosing our IGCSE subjects, and I know that we both had quite a lot of trouble simply deciding on our subjects because we don't know what we want to do in life, what we want to pursue.
And we both are also second guessing some of our subjects even after submitting our forms.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. So Sindhu, you have passed this phase and you're now in university completing your masters, right? So
Yeah.
So do you have a plan in life, or have you always had a plan in life?
I mean, when I was in school, I didn't really have a plan, and then later on when I went to uni, so that's when I wanted to specialize in HR. So I wouldn't say I had a plan from the beginning, but then later on when I started working and then when I graduated, that's when I sort of had a plan.
Deepika auntie, what about you?
It's a mix of plan and unplanned, the way life goes, because I have about 20, 30 years experience behind me. So I can very well say that sometimes you have to really plan things and sometimes you don't have to plan. But end of the day, whole planning doesn't go the way you want it. So you should be ready to face some unforeseen surprises that life throws at you. And sometimes the planning is very good, but most of the times I feel that planning doesn't really serve the purpose, because if you plan, then you go on only on one way, the way you have planned. Whereas if you haven't planned, so you have lot many things to explore. So goes with the life also. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, for us, it's pretty difficult right now because we both, till now, we submitted our subjects around I think a month back.
Like Feb.
Yeah, in Feb actually, so 2 months back. And we till now have discussions like, oh my god, why did I choose that? What if I don't want to pursue that? And all of those things. I'm very much interested in art, but I did not choose art because I felt like it's going to interfere a lot with my other subjects. I won't have time to study for my other things. And I don't know if I want to pursue art. Like, if I want to become a fashion designer, you need art. And now that I didn't choose art, I'm like, wow, what am I gonna do? So
Yeah.
it's very confusing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you think it's
Like, I
important?
think
Yeah,
Sorry.
go on.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, do you guys think it's actually important to have a plan from a very early stage, or it just develops?
I think it develops
No,
with the
no.
time. It develops. Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes I have seen children or I've seen people, who have a lot of plan and they go as per the planning and they get a very good success also. There's nothing wrong in having a plan. But sometimes I have seen that supposing as a parent, if I have a plan for my child that he or she should be going in this way, and whereas his interest is not there, so then my planning fails, or I'm putting pressure on by having a planned life for him or her. So that way the planning doesn't really go very well. But in certain things, yes, as you have to choose life, as you have to choose career, it's always good to have a basic plan with you, that okay, it may not be a specified area, but you need to have that, okay, at this age I need to be achieving x, or maybe I need to be working on, I need to be having a degree, because that kind of planning is a must. Rest you can just vary the areas as per your choice, and as per the circumstances that you have.
Yeah, true. I agree with that because even in school, like when I was studying, I really didn't have a plan because it wasn't clear. Like I didn't know what I would want to do in the future. So I think, like yeah, like I said before, after you go out from school and then you start uni, I think that's when you need to know what you have to do. I mean, you should have a strong how do you say, like a decision. If not, you would probably do a course that you won't end up working in, which might not even interest you. So in that case you do need a plan, but then in school, no, I didn't really have a plan.
And it's like some people also say that having a plan kind of removes the thrill out of everything, because then you know what's going to happen. Whereas if you just go
Yeah.
with the flow, you're just experimenting and you'll find out as you get there.
Yeah.
That's what, like, you have so many areas to explore around, and but yes, in various areas, in various situations, in various stages of your life, planning plays a different role, so sometimes of course you need to have a basic plan, and sometimes you feel that okay, like she says for the schooling, Sindhu says for the schooling, yeah, I mean, you are so young, you don't need a plan for having a, okay, I'll be X by the time I turn 20. No, then you are spoiling your school days, your childhood, you're spoiling, if you're having such a huge plan right on your head at such tender age. So but as you grow in life, as you turn 14, 15, 16, you start visualizing yourself as to which is the best area for you, and in spite of like having, I have seen many children that they start with something else, and they end up, by the time they end up their graduation, they are something else, and they succeed much more. So those kind of variations should be there in your planning, you know.
So do you think success only comes with a plan, or do you believe in going with the flow?
Success is a very a different term. It varies a lot. I mean, because success for me could be not success for the other person, but yeah, some planning is required to achieve a certain target of your life. If you have an X point to reach, so to achieve that,
I think
definitely
the
you need a
silence
plan.
after you asked the question was
Without planning, without planning you can't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's lost actually. Oh my god, I have to do this. No. But yeah, on a serious note, yes, planning does play a very big role to achieve success. At the same time, if you haven't planned and suddenly you go as per what your heart says, as we say, because heart and planning don't go together many times. So if you go as per your heart, sometimes probably the success that you were not even expecting, you get that. So it entirely depends upon a person how he wants to take it. Now you go ahead. Go ahead with your heart.
It's kind of too late to choose our subjects already.
Yeah.
But what do you think people without a plan in life should do? I mean, like, we tried a lot. I mean, okay, we have been advised to go to a career counselor, talk with your parents, think a lot about it. And frankly, I tried it all, but I still don't seem to get like, okay, this is what I want to do, here's what I want to do. And for me, now what I figured out is just like let it play out and we'll see what happens. But I don't know if that's fine right now. So, what do y'all think?
I think it's fine, like, cause y'all are still young. Like, I feel like that. I mean, there's a lot of time for y'all to decide what to do and stuff. So right now, I mean, I feel like, I mean, what I would say is like, don't stress too much. Like, yeah, I feel like don't stress about it too much, cause you guys are in grade 9, is it? So you have like 10, 11, in like even 12. So, So
Because in school we
I
had
feel
something called Career Week,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
in that, like in Valuer, we were supposed to make a timeline. And when I checked like the other students' timeline, they had their whole life planned
Yeah,
out.
like at this age, I want to do this, and this and when you see others
Yeah.
like so like well prepared, you start like getting nervous.
Panicking,
I know.
yeah.
I feel like first of all, like, do not like compare yourselves. I mean, even in my class there were students who knew what they wanted to do, back in school. But it's not necessary to have a plan at this age. But then if there are students who do, I mean, it's fine. You don't have to like stress about it, like, oh, there's another person with a plan and I don't have a plan. It differs from a person, from person to person. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I would also suggest that sometimes what happens is like there is today's age is very competitive, and more than the children, the parents have the pressure as to what society is going to think about their children. So that pressure they are putting on their children. I'm totally against it. I wouldn't like that you have a plan for your child and you put his or her life also into so much of pressure that they are not able to cope up. So that kind of planning I wouldn't ever suggest anyone. I feel that let them decide on their life what they want to, because when I was young, like today if I am about 45, and when I was young, my parents never told me that I'm supposed to do this and I'm supposed to do that at this age. But today, like from the time the child is born, like parents have such big plans, and like if you're in ninth, oh my God, they'll say, no, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to go for this coaching, that coaching. And those like children are just like puppets, they're roaming around here and there. So that independence we are supposed to provide to children, to get their mind be explored in different areas. They are the best judge for themselves.
Yeah.
So that's what is my point of view. I wouldn't believe in like so much of planning
that's
for
very-
the kids, and you can give suggestions.
Yeah.
As a parent, you can give suggestion, you can give advices, and you can tell your children that this is what is right, this is wrong. But you can't impose your ideas and your actions on
I mean,
them.
especially like before, when I hear like
That's where
stories
I
from
go.
my parents, like back then, like today, touch wood, we both have like really supportive parents who are not like forcing us to do something or anything like that. But we still have a lot of friends who say that, oh, I'm doing this because my mom told me to do this.
Yeah.
And they don't have any interest in it, but they have to do
Yeah.
it because they feel the pressure to. Or like they don't like science, but they went ahead and chose all sciences because my mom wants me to become a doctor.
Yes.
So that also just
Yeah.
yeah.
See the pressure
And I
on
feel like
them
it was
now.
much
Yeah,
more
that's-
back then. Like if I hear stories from my parents, it's like very.
Yeah.
It was very prominent that time.
But on the other hand, sometimes it also depends upon the child, because parents know their children the best. So they know that their child may not be able to take a decision for himself. So that's why they put them into one particular line or one particular area. So it's a very relative situation right now. whether the parents are to be blamed or the children are to be blamed for having so much of independence. Like if you leave the children today independent, we are seeing children getting spoiled. Absolutely. If you put too much of restriction, we have also seen parents are misusing their children. So it's a very tricky situation right now. So it's best is that you have the minimum gap between your child and between the child and the parent. I think that's the best way of dealing with the situation right now. Because then you have a...
Yeah, it really depends from like
correct.
person to person, right? Like for some people,
Yeah.
planning will work, and other people
Absolutely.
just go with the flow. And even if you plan, it won't really work out. So just might as well
Yeah.
go with the flow.
Yeah. That's true. Absolutely. Yeah. That's
Like that happened to me with like in uni. So what happened was I didn't know what to specialize in because HR was, I mean, like I said before, but and then like my parents were like, do finance because I mean, I think it's like good, and then you have a lot of job opportunities and stuff. And I'm not a huge fan of numbers, but then I did take finance. I was like, I don't know what I wanted to do, so might as well do what my parents wanted to do. So I did finance, and I did graduate with good results, thank God. But then I still had the interest for human resources, so that's why I started doing masters and even like got work experience and stuff. So sometimes when you don't have a plan, when you listen to someone, it could work or it could not work as well. There are like two sides to it. So
I feel like that's very
yeah.
reassuring too. I feel like it's very reassuring what you just said, because like even after you did something, later on you figured out what you wanted to do. So
Yeah.
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 Alrighty. Before we go, we have a small segment that we have planned on having every episode where our guests and us will answer some questions that our followers asked us on Instagram.
So you want to take the first question, Nivi?
Yeah. So the first question is, by what age is it important to have a plan in life?
Well,
The silence.
If you have a plan for the college, by the time you turn 15 or 16, definitely you should have a rough plan as to what you are going to
yeah.
do. A rough plan, as to what your interests are. So it's definitely one must look into their interest because of the variety of education that you have
I
today.
think like sorry.
So there isn't a
I don't know, like for uni,
That's
I think like by 16 or something, you need to like understand like what you're interested in and everything. I feel like like the question, I don't know if it was for uni or like like work. I'm not sure. So
yeah. I mean, it just said
for
plan
life.
for life.
Okay.
Just for life.
Yeah.
No, for life, so nobody can plan. Nobody can plan because our next moment is also not planned.
True.
So that planning we can't have. But the basic planning, like how you want to go to the college, what college, and stuff like that. And after you are like in the third year or the fourth year of your college, what do you want to do? What kind of internships or what, and what kind of jobs you can, because only when you will have the plan for these kind of things, you can go ahead in life.
Yeah.
Otherwise it will be just like a loose wire. You will be roaming around here and there.
Yeah. So I think the plan just keeps.
So you need to
The plan just keeps
Yeah.
progressing,
Yeah.
right? Like you don't have the plan for life from the beginning, but just like the
Exactly.
small steps.
yes yeah. So the small plans only will take you to the probably a bigger plan that your life has decided for you. You may not have decided.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what has to happen
So
will
that's
happen. So we can't really change it.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's yeah. That though, of course, is there, but yeah.
Yeah. So the second question we're gonna take is, what did you put off that you wish you had spent more time on earlier? So like after you figured out what you want to do, is there something that you all regretted that you all did not work on as a younger child?
I feel like I should have worked for a longer time before I did masters. I feel like I should have done that, like gotten more experience, so I would, probably understand HR better, but that's not like, I mean, it is kind of young, because but not like I'm yeah.
No, but you're still young.
Yeah, I'm not that old. So yeah, maybe that was one regret, I would say. Maybe I should have gotten more experience, like working in Dubai, and then I should have, studied or something like that. Yeah.
So why do you think you didn't do that then? Because you didn't
Because
have like a plan
because
that you're gonna do
COVID
your
happened
masters.
and the job market literally.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just
Corona just ruins
yeah,
everything.
it just went down. Yeah, so
Happy.
yeah, that's why I couldn't, like, even when I quit my previous job because of like personal reasons, and then I was looking for another one, but that didn't happen because COVID happened. So yeah, so job market wasn't stable. So
COVID happened.
yeah.
COVID just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, COVID
Yeah,
took away
it
all the
did.
planning.
Yeah. Good example of when your plan
Yeah.
doesn't work out.
But yeah, if you ask me about the kind of regrets, I wouldn't call it regret, but yeah, probably I would have done it better. Is that like I worked for about 15-20 years, and at one point of time I left my job because I wanted to bring my child as a better person, to have more concentration on his education and all that. But today I feel that probably I should have worked also. But when I see him, then I feel okay. The pain that I have taken by not working, by losing out on those monetary benefits and your personality development benefits, probably is paid off. But that's the only thing that I might feel sometimes, that okay, probably I should have continued my working.
But
Otherwise, I don't have any regrets. I'm pretty
Yeah.
cool.
that's great then.
I'm thankful to God. Yeah, I'm thankful for whatever I have been, given by
Yeah,
everyone.
that's the best attitude to have. Okay, so I think that brings us to an end of this episode of the Generation Gap. Thank you so much to our wonderful guests,
You're
Deepika and
welcome.
Sindu. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah,
Thank you for inviting me. I'm really blessed, and I wish you all the very
Yeah.
best for your first episode.
Thank you for having us.
Also, if you like this episode, please make sure to follow us here on Spotify and check out our Instagram page, the official GenGap, for weekly introductions to be part of our third question segment.
Please show some love on our YouTube channel too. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead. Bye.